My name is Teacher Evelyn, and I work for VIP Kid, and today I'm going to talk to you about the word silly. All right. I'm going to talk to you about this word in two ways pertaining to VIP Kid. Number one, why can't we write the word silly in our feedback to the parents? And number two, if we're not allowed to write it in the feedback, why are we teaching it in the class? How can I be teaching a vocabulary word that I can't talk about? I don't understand. Surprisingly, I take VIP Kids' perspective on this because I'm fluent in Spanish and I'm going to share with you why. Listen carefully. Okay, so the word silly, right? It originally, many, many moons ago, meant fool, dumb, stupid. But English is a living language. That means it's not like Latin where it always stays the same. No one speaks it anymore. It's a living language. It's used in many countries. It's used in different ways. English is a living language. So each year, words are added to the dictionary. Definitions are changed. So the word silly, which originally meant dumb, foolish, it has come to mean silly, happy, funny, silly, kind of a fool, but not in a bad way. Well, the issue with this is the word silly still translates as stupid in other languages. I came across this problem because I'm fluent in Spanish, and I wrote on Facebook that, Esther, my daughter who's 4, she was being so silly today. And my mother-in-law, who's from Ecuador, English is her second language. So she looked up Google Translate. What is this word my daughter-in-law is using? Is silly. And she typed me a message really concerned, and she said, the words we use about our children, it affects them, and we shouldn't be insulting our children, and we shouldn't be saying bad words, and I saw that you were using this word, and that you're talking about your daughter being dumb and foolish, and that's not right, and that's not okay, Evelyn. And I'm like, oh man, how do I explain this? This is so difficult. I'm like, I love my mother-in-law. I totally agree with you. I would never insult my kids and call them dumb and stupid. That's such a bad idea. But I was calling her silly. And yeah, it translates bad into other languages. Spanish, Chinese, maybe every language it translates as foolish, because in other languages, they haven't had this progression of the word fool meaning something positive. Someone who's silly is someone who makes you laugh, who has fun with you. So it was something that I sort of tried to explain to her, and not sure if I communicated it well enough, but I just stopped using the word silly on Facebook because I didn't want her to think that I'm talking bad about my kids. So I choose to use, Esther said this funny thing today. That way it translates well, and I don't have Spanish speaking friends on Facebook thinking poorly of my mothering skills. Not that I'm the best. But the same thing happens with VIP Kid. In our feedback, if you write the word silly, it flags it. And it says you're not allowed to use that word in feedback. Why? Because in the past, VIP Kid has been doing this for 5 years. VIP Kid has existed for 5 years. And it used to be a lot different. And before, they didn't have filters where if someone says a word, then it flags it. So it automatically translated, your child was so stupid today. Do we want to say that to our students? No, we're trying to say, your son was silly with me, and we were laughing and having a good time and having fun. We aren't insulting our student. But with this being sent directly to the parents, translated by a machine, did you know our feedbacks are not translated by people? It's translated basically by something called Tencent, which is like Google Translate. So we have to be careful with what words we use. That's why we can't use silly. It flags it. It doesn't let us, because it's actually helping us out so we don't call them stupid. So then, why do we teach the word silly? Just in the same way as I tried to explain to my mother-in-law, no, this is a good word. This isn't a bad word in English anymore. Maybe 80 years ago it was negative, but now it's positive. Silly is, you silly goose, you silly thing, funny, happy, happy-go-lucky, positive word now is the meaning. So our students are learning English fluency. It's important that they learn the meanings of these words. It's important that they know what silly means so that when they come across someone who says the word silly, they don't get offended. They understand, oh, my English teacher and VIP kid taught me about the word silly. It's different than Chinese. Chinese, that means dumb or fool. But in English, it means something friendly and happy and good. But at the same time, we still don't write it in our feedback because our feedback is going to be translated. And so I hope this helped give you a better understanding of the word silly. Also, we have students who choose their English name as Dick. That's a shortening for Richard. That's an English name from America. It's okay for them to call themselves Dick. It is not okay for us to write it in the feedback because it will translate as a male body part that you know that it can mean. Also, today, in my lesson, I had the word contraction. You know, aren't, isn't, weren't. Those are examples of contractions. And I'm not going to put the word contraction in my feedback because it's going to 50% chance translate as the contractions a woman has for childbirth. And that's not what I'm trying to communicate. So we have to be careful with our wording. So that's my 2 cents about the word silly. I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.